Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 214. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Hit the little thumbs up and the bell to be notified when I publish new content like this. So today is going to be the great question answered, and more on that very soon. The Metal Edge magazine episode, let's say. So you must have seen, or hopefully you've seen, the top 2023 episode I did with my friends Steph and Pascal. After that episode, they came over here. We chatted, listened to some albums, drank a few, and had a good time. And my friend Steph actually asked me, or asked us, a question, and it actually has been bugging me the last couple of days. I don't think I was able to give him a definite answer at the time. Hopefully this episode will answer mostly. So he, like I said, we've all our lives we've been doing top this, top that. We used to work together, and we had this music in common. Not the same music taste, but same genre music. I mean, not the same bands. Before we start off here, cheers to you guys, first of all. So, yeah, so he said, what are your, just out of nowhere, he was like, what are your guys' top 3 bands that you bought now that you wouldn't have or didn't have back then for whichever reason? And he's like, I know about your Blue Oyster Cult and all that, because that was one that I love now. So, and to answer that question, why wasn't I buying all, like right now I'm pretty much buying anything hair metal, okay? And that's what it comes down to, is the hair metal part. So, and the easy answer why I wasn't buying certain albums back then and I'm buying them now: money. We used to, like, this music of hair metal was pretty much aimed at young teenagers, early adulthood, I guess. I'm thinking, maybe I'm wrong here. But so back then we didn't have job. When I first started buying music, I didn't have a job. So you got with what you had, allowance or whatnot. Then when I got a job, but you're still a little part-timer, not making that much money. So you're buying what you can. Back then I was just buying Kiss. Like, I was, again, I'm going to say this many times, I was very tunnel vision. It was Kiss and that's it. Then I started, dabbling into your Bon Jovis, your Twisted Sister, David Lee Roth, Van Halen, stuff that other people would like. So where did I get the idea of what to get? Well, it was easy. It was Metal Edge magazine, okay? That was, to me, and we joke when I talk of this with my friend Steph there, but it was our Bible. We called it the Bible as a joke, but you know what? It was. Any band in that genre, whether it was glam rock, heavy metal to a point, it was later on, I think, there, but it was more concentrating on the hair metal, like your Poisons, your Twisted Sister, your Kiss, your Alice Cooper, your Bon Jovis, all that. Anybody that was super popular and up and coming, they were in Metal Edge, and that's where we got our information. And of course, all the time when there was a new album, that's how we found out about a new album, was on a big splash page. Sometimes, it was going to be a big release, or important release if it was a full page, or if they could afford it. Sometimes it was half a page or 2-3 albums per page. So that's how we got our news. And of course, at that time, with not as much money, that is what we, like, I had to pick and choose, right? What did I like? So of course you'd be watching Power Hour at the same time, the Much Music Power Hour, and I we got that later, like it was part of the cable for free a lot later on. I didn't get it in the heyday of hair metal. I got it near the end. So, but anyway, we got our info from Metal Edge magazine and our videos that we watched on the Pepsi Power Hour. Sometimes Good Rockin' Tonight, sometimes video hits, but mostly Pepsi Power Hour. So, like I said, at that age, you're buying what you can, right? So I'm going to show you, like I said, stuff that I bought. Well, before, so by reading, and I pretty much read Metal Edge magazine every month, so I knew of every band. I just didn't buy them as much. Like I said, you bought what you could. Then fast forward into later on, you're starting to experiment with other bands. Buying this, buying that, and of course the early, or let's say mid '90s, which is pretty much when it all came crashing down. Early '90s came crashing down for hair metal. Well, I like by the time I was starting to buy the hair metal stuff. That's when it all came crashing down. I was like, fuck. And of course, like I said, you love your music, you need to buy or get new stuff. I tried the grunge. Like I said, nothing. I'm not gonna say anything bad about grunge. It just really does not speak to me, period, like at all. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So, and Metal Edge was kind of like talking more alternative, and I just you saw that magazine also sort of, and I think it was a Jerry Miller, the woman in charge of it. She had left. I think she left at the time where she kind of knew that it wasn't going to be the same anymore, the music. So fast forward, like you're just going by. To me, the '90s were like blah, whatever. But then came the internet. You had your YouTubes, your Napsters, but how I started buying all these like stuff that I didn't buy at the time was Napster. That was one reason, but also I'm going to say it right here, those Youth Gone Wild albums. And at the time in the '90s, I was just buying CDs. I was more of a cassette guy in the '80s. Then CDs came out, so I started getting that. Then I'm like, I'm done with CDs. I'm just getting vinyl. It's more fun. Fits more my needs. So yeah, I bought those Youth Gone Wild. That's where I discovered a whole bunch of bands. I knew the name, but I just never got a chance to listen to them. Sorry. So I'm babbling on here, but like I said, I'll show you some good stuff there soon. So your Napsters helped me discover some bands or listen to some bands that I probably would not have bought, or I probably just knew by name. And we'll go through all that. This is all alphabetical, by the way, there. Also, in the early age of the internet, you had your LimeWire or eMule, where my friends were like, hey, let's try and download all these videos. And that's where, again, I learned a lot more from bands that I knew the name, just didn't know the music, or found some videos. I never saw the videos or whatnot. So you had your Youth Gone Wild CDs that had a huge impact. The custom DVDs that I had a couple of episodes ago, the ones with the Playboy thumbnails there, that was a huge game changer for me. YouTube videos, now being able to see these videos on YouTube was a game changer. And of course, YouTube channels like mine right here, where I'm actually got to meet some other people and they've given me suggestions on what to get, or not giving me suggestions, but they're talking about a certain band. I'm like, oh, that actually sounds good. So but like I said, the biggest reason why, or top bands, like I said, I didn't buy at the time, was money. Now I have more money, as opposed to when I was an early teenager. you're able to splurge on some other stuff. So here are some albums, and there's a few. And I'll say a little blurb about each there. These are albums that at the time I knew of them, didn't buy them for X reason. We'll get into that soon. And whether do I like them now or not? Would I get some more? Blah, blah, blah. And these are alphabetical order, not in any particular order here. So first one here we'll go is Babylon AD. To me, it was not a necessity at the time. I'm glad I have this album now. It's a little expensive to find now these days. I used to absolutely love the video for Bang Go the Bells, and also Hammer Swings Down. It's another great video here. So overall, a very decent album. Would I say was a game changer at the time? No, but it's the type of music that I like right now. Oh, and by the way, for something I forgot to mention, with all those years have passed by, right now, what makes me happy, what the music I love the most is hair metal. After going through the 90s with grunge and new metal in the 2000s and what other styles, thrash or blah, blah. My favorite genre after all these years, and I'm proud, I'm never gonna, back in the high school, I was a little, not ashamed, but I wasn't bragging that I was liking certain bands there. Now I don't care. Like, I like what I like, and it is hair metal that I'm going to continue to buy going forward. And that's that. So another one right here, Bangalore Choir. I saw this on my friend Steve's Rock Metal Invasion. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that band. I've heard of the guy, David Reese, that sang on Accept Eat the Heat. Pretty decent one. Would I get others from this band? Maybe at a decent price. It's not a big game. It's good. It's not a wow, I must have everything they have. I don't think there's much. There's a new one last year, but it was only a CD, and you guys all know I don't own a CD player anymore. So Bangalore Choir on Target, decent. Not a game changer for me there. Okay, these guys. So this one was more of a, okay, I got to see what's the issue with these guys here. So Bang Tango. Musically, they're original. At the time, I didn't care much for this at the time. So this had nothing to do with money. It was just, they did nothing for me. I like them a tad better these days, but again, right now, I'm just concentrating on buying as much hair metal as I can. Some I like more than others. This one was good. The guy's voice, I like their second album better than this one. His voice it is what it is. It's not my favorite there, but musically, these guys are pretty original when it came to the hair metal genre there. So Bang Tango, this is Psycho Cafe. I like this one as good enough that I went and bought the second one. If the others after that would actually be released on vinyl, yeah, I'd finish the collection. Just there you go, Bang Tango. This one here was I didn't know back in the probably in the year 2000, 1999, 2000 is where I learned about this band because I was given some guy lent me their second album. So I'm talking about Baton Rouge. And of course, I saw the video for Walks Like a Woman. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I was like, wow, these guys are good. I knew of Baton Rouge. I remember back, like I said, early 2000s, late 90s, like in that era, 1990, probably 2000. I was given this, and it was, to me, it was, oh, and another thing, another reason, okay, I'll say the reason after there. But anyway, Baton Rouge was one that, again, I find good, not great, but some songs are friggin' good, great on this album here. Like Walks Like a Woman. Great video, good choice for it there, and uber catchy. Um, like anything, and this is my friend Pascal said that on Friday, and I didn't realize it at the time. So I lived through new releases of hair metal at the time. I was like, I was reading Metal Edge, and they came, and but it was at one point there was so much that again, a teenager my age wasn't able to afford all these releases, and that's why I'm going back now. And what I didn't realize is apparently thrash metal was also maybe not as big as hair metal was, but it was getting saturated. The market was getting saturated with too many thrash bands. And right now, at the time, the hair metal was getting a little too saturated. Even for myself, I was like, okay, but it was still my favorite type of music, but I was just staying more picky. Now, some bands have aged well. So what it all comes down to is hair metal still is the type of music that makes me happy and I enjoy listening to any time of day. Next one. I talked to my friend Steph about these guys, and him, like me, we've heard the name back then, and only of late in the last couple of years I went and got this. So I'm talking about Bo Nasty. There was a video for Shake It, which I never saw on the Power Hour. Thanks to YouTube, that's when I found this. Decent band. I think it's a one and done band also. But anyway, didn't think twice at the time. Like I didn't even know this was a thing. I heard the name Bo Nasty, and that was pretty much it. Like here in Canada, there was that was it for this band. So I'm glad I got it. Just a one and done band, or one and done band album here. But no, fairly decent. It's good, not great. So Bo Nasty right here. This one here, oh my god. So I remember the video for this at the time, which was Shotgun Sally. So I'm talking about Cats and Boots. My friend Pascal loves this album. At the time, it wasn't again part of my must-have of the hair metal, but now later on, I'm going back and trying to get all these. So I got this about a year or two ago, maybe again. It's all the same times. So Cats and Boots, Kicked and Clawed. Another very decent album at the time. This is more like sleaze rock, like your Faster Pussycat or LA Guns type music there. Good one. I think it's a one and done album, I believe. Would I get more? Maybe at a decent price there. But yeah, Cats and Boots, Kicked and Clawed. I do remember Shotgun Sally, the video, and I thought it was good. But it didn't matter. Like it was not a necessity at the time for me to get, but now I'm happy I got this one here. Next up, Olga. This one I'll show you there. Company of Wolves. I vaguely remember seeing this in Metal Edge at the time. Never saw a video of these guys. I think I talked about these guys. It was either on my channel or I talked to my friend Steph about it, because actually he went and bought this on CD about a month later. And I'm like, they were bunched in the hair metal genre. Are they hair metal? Not even close. I thought at first it was hard rock meets Steve Earle. Like that's the kind of music these guys are. I think there may be another album here. I got this really cheap. This is maybe like last year. Again, remember the name, remember the logo, I remember the splash page in Metal Edge. This to me was not screaming by me at the time either, so not even close. So Company of Wolves, I think this is their self-titled one, so there you go. Decent. Okay, this one, I actually got this. I got this less than a month ago. So my friend Steve, was it an episode he did or was it one that I did with him? I forget. And he brought back a memory that I had forgotten as a teenager. So back then when we used to look at cassettes, was going. It was a store called Discus, like a, like the Olympics discus there. That's spelled like that. And that was where we got our music at the time. Didn't really last that long here. But I remember going through and I remember seeing this Dagger. And a couple of times, memory, I get these memories of like this, not even on my radar. I remember seeing it as a kid and thinking, oh, another good band maybe I'd like. Didn't Never saw a video, never saw them in Metal Edge. Thought it was one of those like no good record contract, like like one of those forgotten. It was forgotten, obviously there. And then Steve had this on his episode, and then I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. And of course, I told him about seeing this as a cassette when I was a kid. Then, of course, we went to Montreal, and by luck, they had it. And I got a used copy, and it's actually pretty good. I do enjoy this one a lot. So another Canadian band, Dagger, Not Afraid of the Night, the only album to my knowledge that they did. But I really remember this as a kid going through, and at the time I used to go through cassettes, and I took my time. Like right now, I go through it, but I'm like, I know I got certain other things to do, so I don't spend as much time just browsing like I used to as a kid there. But I definitely remember seeing Dagger at the time, and now I got it. So there you go. So that was actually a memory that I forgot at the time. But for a couple of times, I'm like, I think I remember a band called Dagger at the time. But like in the last 30 years, I probably thought about it twice. Like and then last about a month ago, I was like, oh my god, I need to get that. So this is one that everybody knows, this band. But for some reason, where it was not good enough for me to go buy at the time. And now, part of the to answer, like I said, my friend Steph's questions, bands that at the time, like I probably will get all their collection. I think they're actually very good, but they were associated with the cheesiest song ever almost. So I'm talking about Europe. This is their first one. I have all their first 4 albums now. Gonna get more, but everybody, like, whether you're sick and tired of hearing the final countdown, it is. I remember loving it at the time. Now it's just like one of those I don't want to hear that song anymore. There, but everybody was like, and of course I'm like, I'm not getting the final countdown, blah blah. But every time I say that or someone says that, oh, but you got to listen to their earlier stuff, Dan. It's like it's so same like Hysteria with Def Leppard. Oh, Def Leppard's earlier stuff is a lot better. So same thing with this. Europe was actually very. They still are. They're actually releasing new material still to this day there. But I went and got I think the first 4 albums, and you're like, yeah, you're right. This band is a lot better, or a lot. There's a lot more to this band than the final countdown. So Europe's one here that at the time did not say anything to me, but there you go. Now I'm slowly, very slowly getting all their discography here. Okay, this one here, long story short, Steve had shown this on an episode of mine, had completely forgot about it. Then my friend Pascal sends me a video one time and he goes, check this out. And I'm looking at the video, it's like a train wreck. It's good, but it's also very bad, the video itself. So got this actually maybe 2 months ago. So Geisha, Phantasmagoria. It's one of those bands that it's good, but there's also a lot of badly recorded, but the songs are there. And you look at the video for You Got What It Takes, you're like watching this, and you're like, oh my God. But I think I watched that video like 10 times. It's like a car crash. You can't look away, or mind you, this one you can't hear away. But yeah, pretty happy to have found this one here. So it's actually a very good album. One and done again. So Geisha, Phantasmagoria here, got this not too long ago. This one, they had 2, 3 songs I know of at the time. Would I have bought that at the time? No. Bought this one here, and it's good. Probably will be the only Gorky Park album that I will get here. It is what it is here. It's a Russian band with English not as their like English as a second language. And it shows in the lyrics there. Um, Decent. Like I remember at the time we used to laugh at the guy's guitar. Actually, here it is. Here's a picture of his guitar, his electric guitar. Remember the song was "Bang." I will give them. I will give this to them. They did do a very good version of the Who's "My Generation." And there was a song called "Action." They were part of the Moscow Peace Concert Festival, whatever it's called there. And "Action," I was like watching this video. I was like, this song makes no sense. But anyway, bought this on a whim just because I remember it back then on the Pepsi Power Hour, Metal Edge a little bit. Got this one. Probably will not be getting any more at Gorky Park. So I don't even know what. I guess this means Gorky Park. I don't know in Russian. Got this one because my friend Steve had mentioned this here, and I'm a big Kiss fan, so I'm trying to get everything Kiss related. Harlow, this is after the demise of Black and Blue, which is what Tommy Thayer was in. This is a one and done, and I'm glad this is a one and done. Apart from the song Chain Reaction, and then it goes just downhill from there. I remember vaguely, it's like that dagger thing there. I remember seeing this album cover somewhere. Has to be Metal Edge. Never saw a video of these guys before. Forgotten. But anyway, I'm glad I have it because of Tommy Thayer. Tommy Thayer is on this year from the current version of Kiss there. But anyway, yeah. Oh, these guys. Many arguments with a few of my YouTube heavy petting. This I know of not because of Metal Edge, not because of YouTube but it was Martin Popoff's book here, and he actually has this picture in it. I was like, heavy petting. I'm like, never heard of these guys until I saw Martin's, the ones with the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and yeah, those books there, the ratings of the albums there. So a good. I prefer the first album than this. The guy's voice really annoys me on this second one. Songs are there. It's like a little bit like Def Leppard. Even I think that the song "Rock Ain't Dead" sounds a little bit like High and Dry, the same structure. You're singing "Rock Ain't Dead" Saturday night, high and dry. It's good. They only have the 3 albums here. I got them all. This is mostly never bought this at the time because I didn't know about it as a teenager. Bought this just because I want my hair metal. I'm trying to finish my hair metal collection. So there you go. Got all of these ones here. So heavy pen. Found the first album 2 years ago in Montreal by accident. Then I got the other 2 off Discogs. So, and another one that I figured out with Martin Popoff's book is Highway Child. I actually prefer these guys, and I don't know why I'm comparing Highway Child to Heavy Pen. I prefer these guys to Heavy Pen, actually. Original at times, weird-ish, but it's definitely hair metal. Never heard of these guys until I saw Martin Popoff's book. When I first bought my record player, I would say 6-7 years ago, I used to start going into the used, and I saw Highway Child's 3rd album for really cheap. I said, I'll get that. And I actually like it there, but I'm just showing off their first one here, Storybook Heroes. good stuff. Like I said, give these guys a shot. There's like the first three. They only have the three albums. The fourth one that was released, it is what it is. There, it's. But yeah, their first three are something to check out. So yeah, these guys was because of the internet and Martin's books that I actually heard about these guys. So Highway Child were not part of Metal Edge. Maybe they were. I just forgot. But yeah, that's how I discovered these guys here, and I got all their albums now. This one is actually because of YouTube channels. They weren't part of. I don't remember these guys in Metal Edge at the time. They have a name that I remember the name now, big time. So Icon, but it could have meant anything, I guess. There, yeah, a good band. I actually got I got everything that is available physically on vinyl. There's a third one in the middle that's hard to get there, but on CD only. But yeah, I found out about these by watching YouTube channels before I actually started my own. And I was like, okay, I remember this band. Like, I remember the name somewhere. Never saw a video on YouTube before. Wasn't part of Metal Edge or those custom DVDs or even Youth Gone Wild. But yeah, Icon. I have 3 of their albums, 3 of the 4. One's because it doesn't exist on vinyl. Hopefully, not for long. Hopefully. But yeah, decent one here. Okay, these guys I did know about. Definitely saw them in Metal Edge. Definitely saw their videos. Again, at the time, was a band that was good. Did it pique my curiosity enough to go dish out some money? Probably not at the time, but now I'm trying to get all their discography. So this is another one that at the time I would not have bought. Now I'm actually seeking out their whole discography, which is Kingdom Come. By the way, James Kodak passed away last week. Rest in peace. Not a surprise, but rest in peace, But yeah, they're called Clones of Led Zeppelin. But I still remember Do You Like It at the time? Should I is actually probably one of my it is my favorite Kingdom Come song. So slowly but surely I'm gonna start getting some Kingdom Come. I like them, don't love them. But enough that I'm intrigued enough by these guys that I do want to get their whole discography eventually. So there you go. Kingdom Come as another one. I was completely aware of these guys. Just something did not draw my wallet to these guys when I was an early teen. So there you go. Kingdom Come's one. I didn't know about these guys actually, or this band, but I bought it because of the album cover. You've seen this on my album, on my episodes before. Legs Diamond. This was actually a pleasant surprise. Then of course I'm going backwards. This one I didn't know about at the time. I don't even. How the hell did I find out about these guys? Well, when I was doing research for sexist album covers and found this gem, and I bought it on a whim. I was like, you know what? This is actually freaking good. This album here. But yeah, it's. I think they have 4, maybe 5 albums there. But anyway, decent. Did not know anything until they had gone. Like, I think this was 91. This one, 90. They started in the early 70s. Late 70s, early 80s. And they broke up and they came back and did this one here. I don't know. I've never heard of these guys until probably YouTube or on even Martin's books. Martin's books, if ever you have never read them, they're actually good. A good way. Okay, let's just get this one out of the way here. Legs Diamond, never heard of them before. Yeah, Martin's books are good if you want to get a good list of what's available out there. Whether or not you agree with his rating, that's his opinion. I'm allowed mine too. But man, is it a good way to find out which band exists with what albums. So there you go. Cheers again. More than halfway done. I'm 3/4 done here. This one, I bought these guys. This was, I don't even know how I did not know about these guys. I'm not a Transformers. Back when the cartoon was there, it was either G.I. Joe or Transformers. To me, it was either or. I was more of a G.I. Joe guy. But you must know who Lion is when they did the theme song to the Transformers movie. I didn't know about it because I was more of a G.I. Joe guy. But and then of course I got all the DOs and all that. If you know where I'm going with this, on Killing the Dragon, this guitarist on here called Doug Aldrich. I'm like, oh, he's good. This guy. Where was he been? It's like all these bands I never heard of, and then Hurricane. I know, but it was the band Lion that stuck. I'm like, who the hell is Lion? I went on YouTube and I actually like really fell in love with the song Power Love, which is on this here, the good version of Power Love. And I was like, wow, this is like, how come I never heard of this here? So that was one. I never even heard of this guy, this band. I'm not sure if they were Metal Edge or not. This told me nothing, only until Dio's the hell they're Killing the Dragon came out, and that's where I went on the net trying to find out where this Doug Aldrich guy was been all this time. So yeah, Lion. And this very good. I got all their albums now. That was a very big good surprise. But not until YouTube and you're starting to watch all these videos did I know about these guys here. And they did a theme song to Transformers, which I was not aware of at the time in 1980, mid 86, 87, 85 maybe at the time. I don't know. Okay, these guys I was very aware of, and I got 4 of their albums. They were in Metal Edge. Never saw any videos by them. It was on the early days of Napster or eMule or LimeWire that I heard some songs, and it's Loudness. Thunder in the East. This is the album. Well, I have 4 of them. This is one of them there. They were always in Metal Edge, these guys. Always there. But for some reason, I never saw any videos. Again, you got to remember that my Power Hour came with the cable when it was free. So from 84 to 87, 88, I didn't have like the Pepsi Power. Like probably about 89 or 90 is when I started getting, Power Hour or Much Music came into the free cable because my parents didn't want to pay for extra. So anyway, they have like over 20 albums. I have 4. Am I in a rush to get any of their albums? They're not really there. These guys are great though. Like for when they actually tapped into the American market there, sang in English there as opposed to Japanese. This is great. This is a great album here. I wish, but it has like 21 albums or if not more, 22. I was like, phew. So yeah, at the time, there was not enough exposure about Loudness for me to go as a kid and buy some Loudness, but I was very aware of them, knew they were from Japan, just didn't know any songs about them, so that was not a big thing for me to get at the time. But very, very slowly I'm going to get some Loudness, but will I ever complete the collection? Probably not. I got this one here on, I think they're a one and done. There might be another one, but it's like an unofficial one there. Little Caesar. I remember them. The only reason I know about this was that cover of Chain of Fools. And that they toured with Kiss early on in the Hot in the Shade tour. A lot of people seem to love these guys. I think they're okay there. They're good. At the time was not enough for me to go buy. Again, it's good that I'm, going back in time, it's decent. I'm glad I have it. But yeah, it is what it is. This one here. Not much comment on this. It's like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But I know some people that do like this band a lot there. So Little Caesar was not on my radar at the time. This one I just got on a whim. There's a video, Lion Rampant. What the hell's Up and Coming? There we go. Yeah. Didn't know about this. I think I found out about this band like 2 years ago. Not bad. It's like Geisha. They're one of those bands that nobody's ever heard of, but there's some good gems in there. Decent. So, but yeah, this was not on my radar at the time. Did not even know it existed. So would not have bought that at the time. Okay, this is one. So I definitely remember these guys were in Metal Edge big time. One of the most popular ones in Metal Edge. They were on Video Hits in Canada. They were also on Pepsi Power Hour, but more on Video Hits. And did not buy the first one. Did not buy the second one. I think I had the cassette of the third one at one time, but didn't have. For some reason, I got their greatest hits, which was good enough for me. Saw them live twice, but a band that and I remember the first video. Okay, let's show the band first there. So I'm talking about Poison, and there was something about these guys that I was like, they're good, but three little dots. Like, I still remember when I first saw the video for Talk Dirty to Me on Video Hits. Like, they had the look of what I wanted. Then I heard the song Talk Dirty. It was like, to me, it was like a devolution. And I'm not dissing Poison and all that there, because I think this here is a great album. To me, is their best one out of the first three. And I remember hearing Talk Dirty to Me, and it was like a musically devolution. So that's why I didn't buy any Poison at the time. They're a fun party band. It's a great summer band. I saw them twice. Is it 3 times? Twice. Still no idea how, after all this time, they can fill up a 16,000 arena or outdoor stadium. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Now I'm slowly getting into Poison. Like I said, I had that greatest hits at the time there. Greatest hits. I was happy with that. But now, after I bought the first one, Look What the Cat Dragged In, then Open Up and Say Ah. Then this came out. I was like, I actually got this. I'm like, wow, this one's good compared to those other two there, musically anyway. More my so yeah, I will actually be getting the rest of these guys' discography at a good price there. It gets a little expensive after this one here, but yeah, this band at the time could not care less about these guys. Not saying that these guys invented the wheel now there, but they're fun. You have to be in the mood there, and that mood is the summertime. So Poison was definitely a band well aware of, knew all the hits, just did not resonate with me and my wallet. I was like, nah. So there you go, Poison. There's a big deal about this band, and I don't see what the big deal is. So I'm gonna go with Salty Dog. I remember never saw a video for it. The videos came out in YouTube. I saw that for the first time. I remember seeing this in Metal Edge, some articles about them in Metal Edge. Fast forward to 2000-ish. I remember playing ball hockey with my friend Stefan. Do you remember like Salty Dog? I said, are these guys any good? Thinking about getting some Salty Dog. Like when I was starting to buy albums on CD again, like after the disaster of the 90s and early 2000s there. So, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute. I have it at home, or I'm going to burn it for you. You tell me if you really want it. I listened to it. I was like, no, there's absolutely nothing special about this album. Some people seem to like it. I just, yeah, it's good, but like I hardly ever play this, but I'm glad I have it. Again, I'm gonna try to get everything that is hair metal there. So there you go. Salty Dog. Every dog has its day. Definitely remember these guys in Metal Edge. Never saw their videos because apparently it was blocked by. It was either the company. Was this Geffen? Yeah, Geffen was like, "You play our Guns N' Roses. If you play these guys again, we're not gonna give you Guns N' Roses video." Something like that. I don't know what the whole story is there. To be honest, don't really care. So anyway, Salty Dog. Yeah, it is what it is. About five more ish there. Remember the video or the band of this? Definitely remember them in Metal Edge. Thought the singer was cute. So I'm talking about Soraya. I had for the longest time that Timeless Love on this Shocker soundtrack. Um yeah, they're good. I don't say they're great, but they're slowly getting better every listen. I'll say this, slowly getting very better as with every listen with these guys. Definitely knew them at the time. Was not at the time was not. I must have this back when this was released originally. So Saraya, I got their two albums now. So good, and it gets better every time. Okay, I didn't know this band existed until another band came out. So the band is Contraband, so you must know. So I knew Rat, I knew Vixen, I knew Michael Schenker, and I knew Ellie Guns. I'm like, who the fuck is Shark Island? Like, how come I don't know about this? And that's the only way I knew that there was a band out there called Shark Island. I don't remember them being in Metal Edge. Never saw a video of them on the Power Hour. But with the internet, you see, and I found this at a decent price there. Like, okay, they're okay. They're not bad there. But yeah, like this was not a thing at all here in Canada. I don't know any one of my friends at the time who even knew who these guys are or were. Well, they're still around there, but yeah, I would not. Probably this is gonna be my only album from them, unless I see something very cheap there. But yeah, Shark Island was like, it was a surprise when I couldn't believe it. Like I knew everything from Contraband except the singer who was from Shark Island. Did not know a thing. All right. This one here. Oh, another sleaze metal band. I've heard the name, and I'm going to say it's decent. Sea Hags. Yeah, it's called Sea Hags. I listened to it once or twice. I have no comment. I don't even remember if it's bad or good. I remember being like, I don't remember going wow, but I remember hearing the name. Don't know from where though. So yeah, Sea Hags got this one here. Okay, these guys at one time I wanted to get everything that was under the Gene Simmons Moneybag album, and I remember reading about this, but not until YouTube did I ever see a song or the video by these guys. So I'm gonna go with the Silent Rage. Funny is that Doro, her self-titled, the one yellow, which she's holding her hands like this here. The bass player, which is what's his name, EJ or EZ, EJ Curse bass. He's the bass player in the video for Doro's Unholy Love. But yeah, I wanted, like I said, at the time, I think I had bought House of Lords, and it was okay. It's, to me, House of Lords is for a more mature audience than just your little teenagers that love Poison and Warren and Bon Jovi and Motley Crue. So anyway, I wanted all of this was like 3-4 years I got this year. I wanted all the albums, or I still don't, but I have their two albums, Silent Rage. They're not bad. Very forgettable band there. But that song, I'm a Rebel with a Cause, good one. That's the one I found on YouTube. at the time, was not on my radar at the time. I remember on the reading about these guys on Metal Edge, but that's about it. Never saw these videos. This one, actually, this is where I was actually very. I would definitely get more albums of these guys if there were more. So I think they have a first one, which is an independent. I might try to have to hunt down. But Tangier. This, they have two albums. This one and Stranded. This one is freaking good. This, it's a different singer on the second one, and the singer's look is more hair metal. This guy has such a good voice on this album here. But I remember them coming here to Ottawa, opening up for White Lion and Cinderella. We were supposed to go see that concert, but we never did there. But that's, I remember hearing about these guys, the name in Metal Edge. I probably saw a video at the time, just don't remember any song. Then I bought this about a year or two ago and I was like, wow, this is actually a very good. So because I love this one that much, I went and got the second one, Stranded, and now I want the first independent one. So this was actually a very good find for me. I loved this album. The second one, not as much. It's good, but a little generic. This one's actually a good bluesy hair metal there, I guess. So Tangier, Four Winds is the name of this album here. Good find. This too was actually musically was a surprise. Found out about these guys like maybe about a year or two ago. Got two of their albums. They're actually very good. We'll probably get some more, but Tiger Tails, don't remember seeing these guys on Metal Edge at all. Don't remember them at the Power Hour either. But yeah, I was actually surprised at how decent this was here. So easily, I've got two albums here, and I like this. So, but again, did not know of anything of these guys at the time. So I got this one in Berserker or Berserk. It's blue cover there. Anyway, good one here. Okay, two more. I remember hearing about these guys, thinking that these guys look way too much like Poison. So that's why I did not get them at the time. Because if you remember what I just said about Poison, so I'm gonna go with Tough. I got this actually last year after I made an episode about 4-letter band names, and the singer actually found out about my episode and commented, he's like, Tough's not in there, huh? Like, holy shit. I actually went and got, and this is actually pretty good for, I do enjoy this one a lot here. They have another one that's coming out very soon, so I'll be getting that one there. So yeah, I guess Tough would be one that at the time, not even close to being on my radar. But now I got this one. Actually, you can see it signed by the singer, and we'll be getting some other one with the fist and those things that you punch people with there. I don't even know what you call those there. But anyway, that's there you go. Tough. What the hell was this one called again there? What comes around goes around. There you go. So yeah, this one actually would be getting some whatever gets released on vinyl from these guys, I will get it. And last one, I see this one is one that I mixed up with Icon and this next one here because it was a 4-letter band. And I won this on a Facebook group. And it's one of those bands that like people think, oh my God, these bands should have been huge. And I was like, there's nothing great about them, to be honest. They're vain, no respect. It's good. Is this something that I absolutely need to have in my collection? Not even close. I'm glad I have it. This is actually not a cheap one to find there. But sleaze hair metal is not my favorite type of hair metal. Probably my least favorite, I guess, there. But anyway, that's one here that I was like, I'm glad I have it. This will be my only one. Not this, I won't be. But I knew the name at the time. I may have remembered singing in Metal Edge. Definitely not on the Power Hour. But I, again, because it was 4 letters, I thought Icon was this font, and I mixed those two bands up at the time there. But anyway, Vain, No Respect. Glad I have it. Probably won't be getting anything else from these guys there. So those are the albums that I bought when I first started buying. When I switched to vinyl, and I'm buying this blindly. Like some bands, I'm buying back on vinyl, which I had on cassette and on CD for the longest time. Then when I was telling you guys about when I had my first good job and I started buying more music, and was buying CDs at the time. So then, of course, right now I'm sort of rebuying and trying to sell my CDs away there. This batch right here I did not have on CD or cassette, never owned at one time. And this is, but what it comes down to is, like, I'm hoping, if you're still watching at this time here, it's just like, I don't want to start rambling around, but to answer my friend Steph's question, and that's what it was bugging me, is like, what are your top 3 bands? But, well, you know what? I'm going to answer that question by just saying, whatever hair metal I wasn't able to get at the time, I'm going to get now. It's a genre of music that's probably, what it comes down to is my favorite. I enjoy it brings pleasure. It brings a smile to my face. It's a happy time. So to answer his question, I would say, like, I'm answering his question not with a top 3, but what are your bands that at the time that you didn't care for, or did not buy at the time but are buying now? Whatever I did not buy as hair metal at the time, I'm going to try really, really hard to get. Not saying I'm not going to get all of hair metal. It's going to be impossible there. So I'm not going to know about. But yeah, all of hair metal, if I can, I will definitely try very hard to get that. So that is to answer the question. Hopefully, this has been a big rambling on here. Yeah, my whole fucking drink is done here. So anyway, that's my Metal Edge episode. So it's like, at the time, I was aware of most of these bands, if they were on Metal Edge, because I read that, every month. I'm sure I must have missed a few here and there, but at the time, I would have, and bands that I didn't mention here is probably because I owned them already. So there's a whole, and there's on CD or vinyl or cassette at the time there. So anyway, I'm hoping I answered the question here regarding his question, which has been bugging me. I was like, how the hell do I answer that? My answer, to be honest, it just comes with 2 words: hair metal. I'm going to get whatever I can of hair metal that I didn't care for at the time. I'm definitely getting it now. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long. My jaw is fucking hurting now. Thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, comment away, by the way. Go nuts.